Frank here, your virtual general aviation aviator, and today I am back in the MU-2. I've heard people refer to it as the MU-2. So I'm back in the MU-2, the Mitsubishi MU-2, modeled by TOGA, T-O-G-A, TOGA, modeled by TOGA. And so I did a flight a few weeks ago, a few weeks ago, about 2 or so, and that was my initial flight. I have had a chance to become a little bit more familiar with this aircraft. To be honest with you, I haven't spent nearly as much time in it as I should to be proficient in it, but nevertheless, I am going to take you guys for a spin. Now, I'm at North Las Vegas in Nevada, just north of Las Vegas International. And let's see if I can see where I'm at on my iPad. Okay, yeah, just north of KLAS, Lima Alpha Sierra. And by the way, if I'm at Kilo Victor Golf Tango is the IO code, the ICAO code for this airport. So yeah, let's get started here. Don't want to make this video too long. Of course, it too is going to be long because I am going to go back through that checklist again. And you know how that can be. Right, so let's hop in the cockpit. So the first thing we'll do is pull up our checklist. All right, so get that checklist up and get that by pulling up our Avi tab and the button here that we turn it on, and go to aircraft and go to our documentation folder and Avatar checklist. All right, let's zoom in. All right, so what do we have here? Let's make it a little bigger and bigger again. Without here, pre-flight checklist. Okay, so I can tell you I'm not going to go through the entire pre-flight checklist because I am in a simulator and I'm not going to do the outside walk around as if this is a real simulator with some real risk of death. So, you know, it's a simulator, guys. We can take liberties where we can take liberties, right? All right, so let's get this party started. Gear handle is down. That's this guy here. Yeah, look, it up. Okay, didn't mean to do that. Okay, control lock is removed and stowed. Parking brake is set as of right now, and I need to pause my phone. Okay, so parking brake is set and removed, and parking brake is set, and let's see what okay, battery key switch can go on, and we're going to do our battery isolation test. Okay, so I'm going to remove this guy, and these are my battery isolation buttons. Now what I want to do is I want to zoom in so I can see my amps and voltmeter. Right now I'm showing about 24 on my left and 24 on my right battery indicator. And so what I want to do is when I isolate the battery, nothing should change because the power should automatically pour from the isolate battery 1, kill all the hear all the power to battery 1, then I should automatically start to get power from battery 2. So the only thing should change is the amps that's feeding from battery 1, and likewise with battery 2. So I shouldn't get any more annunciators, and if I do, something is wrong. Right now, the annunciator says that fuel low level left SRL has failed, right SRL has failed, and inverter has failed, and those are expected. Okay, so anyway, just bring you up to speed on that. All right, battery 1, isolate, and the amps. So watch this amp. I see amps went down to 0. Watch the amps when I come back up. Nothing changed on my annunciator. All right, so back on, and you see how that changed. Actually, when I turned it off, the amps on the right side actually went up because it's compensating. All right, so that works fine. And same thing with the isolating battery 2. The amps on battery 1 went up, went down to 0. Voltage didn't change, nothing on my annunciator. So yeah, so that's basically what that test says, and that's kind of what this caution tell me. Okay, inverter switch can come on. My inverter annunciator went off, and let's check, make sure my pitch trim is set to 0. Now, there's a quick little note on this pitch trim. Guess that's the note that I'm trying to get. Okay, right here is my pitch trim, and do this out of the way. All right, so this guy right here is indicating that it's 0, and if it wasn't, then you see how that red falls off that bar. So as long as that red is on that bar, then I know it's right where it's supposed to be. All right, so pitch trim look good. Flaps goes to 5%, and this is my flap lever right here. And the flap light went off, so I'm happy about that. And inverter switch can go off now, and battery switch can go back to off. Technically, I could leave it on, but because at this point I am going to skip the next couple of pages. Because number 2 entails getting outside the aircraft and doing a walk around, and as so with number 3. Basically, number 2 is general condition of the aircraft: flap, spoiler, trim, aileron, tailpipe, EGT probes, turbine, static discharger, just general inspections on all that stuff. Look for fuel leakage, main outer fuel tank filler caps, make sure they're on and secure. Your tank ports should be clear of obstructions, and so forth and so on. So I am going to jump all right here to before starting engines. Okay, so let's do that. Before starting engines, and so the first thing we want to do is check our battery isolation switches, and they are normal. Battery key switch can go on. Inverter switch can go on. It can go, go to main. All right, and you can see my some of my gauges are coming alive. Those are electrically powered. Okay, and my inverter annunciator should have went out, which it did. All right, radio master switches are off. They're these guys, and they are in the right position for off. Panel light indicator check. Okay, and there's a indicator that let me know that all my panel lights are working. All right, so I'm happy with that. Master caution system, and I think that's this red button. All right, and it looked like it's working as expected. Fire warning systems, so that's this button here, and they look like they're working as expected. Stall warning system, this is audible, so we'll listen for this. Give me a second here. All right. And you should have been able to hear that. Turn the volume up a little bit. All right. Okay, so stall warning is working, and I know what to listen for when it's telling me that I'm having a stall. Field quantity test switch. Okay, there are two parts to this. One part, I should see these, all of my needles move, start to drain down, and I'm going to hold it till my low fuel level annunciator comes on. That lets me know that I'm less than 200 pounds of fuel in my tank, and that's this guy right here. So you should see that come alive. All right, fuel low level test. So I'm holding it. Wrong test. Fuel quantity test. All right. So yeah, now you can see my tanks being appear to look like they're being drained. Don't have a low fuel level light yet, indicator, annunciator, and low 200 pounds of fuel. It should come on, and there it is. You can see my caution and my low fuel light on my annunciator zone. So that's working as expected. Reset my master caution there. And let's see, yeah, where am I at? Okay, and auto pump switch, which would be this guy. Now I should get, these two guys should come on momentarily, and they should go off. So happy with that. And auto fuel tank annunciator empty. Now I was never able to figure that one out, so that's not germane to this flight. Could be germane if I were to run out of fuel on that tank though. Okay, both fuel transfer switches must be in the off position for the system test to work properly, and they were off. That's these fuel valves here, and the test did test out properly. Condition levels, free movement, right? So there we go. And did it backwards. These are my conditions. All right. Okay, move independently and together. Power, move independently and together. All the way down. So yep, I'm happy with that. And trim control. Incidentally, guys, this is the only aircraft that I have ever had to map some stuff to the keyboard in order to get stuff to work properly. So there are some things that I have mapped to the keyboard, and I will tell you what they are when we get to them. I think we're about to get to them. Okay. First flight of the day, do the feather valve and the NTS negative torque sensor check. Checklist below, which is what we're going to do. So down to here, and it says left unfeathered switch. All right, so there are some things that it's telling me to do. that I want to do. Okay, so what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to use the left unfeathered switch. I'm gonna have to press and hold that, which is this guy here. I only got one mouse button, so what I did was I mapped that to a key. So, which key is that? I think it's H in my case. Got it mapped, and I got the other unfeathered switch mapped to a different key. So I can hold that key and manipulate my throttles and my condition levels. Okay. So in this test, we will be working with the condition levels. Okay. So actually, it's the next test. Left unfeather switch, press and hold. Well, yep. We're messing with the condition levels. Okay. So so it says beta. Now I actually don't really see a beta, and so I may need to set up a beta range without getting to emergency stop. But anyway, so I'm gonna assume that this is beta. Okay, so press and hold. Let's see. So left unfeathered switch, press and hold, and my beta light should eliminate, and then I bring it up to taxi, and my left beta light should eliminate. The left beta light eliminates condition. Okay. Number one. Oh yeah, I got to move it to the emergency stop, and then my left beta light should extinguish, and when I bring it back up to the taxi, that beta light should come on. So that's all that we're looking for to make sure that we get this negative sensing. Okay. So, and I am actually going to do both sensors at once. Right. So I got those. Then, all right. So that's what I was looking for. All right. And in real life, I don't think I think you're doing one at a time rather than both, but both at a time, because I only mount one button to drop my condition levels to the emergency stop, rather than well, yeah. I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, that's both buttons. Huh. Okay, I think I got to have the button at taxi, or to get them over the gate so that they drop. Yeah, I think that's so that. So I guess there is a way to get them to go down one at a time. Um, have to have them in the right place so that when you press it, it would jump the gate. Like now, only my left should fall. Wrong about that. Okay. All right, so I got this one parked now. Only my left should fall. And my right fell. My left fell. Anyway, I got to do some more work on. Maybe I will. Maybe I just leave it the way it is. But because I'm not ever going to really fly this aircraft in real life. Wish I could. Let's see. Okay, so anyway, again, that was we did complete our negative torque censoring check. Negative torque sensor check. All right. Next page. All right. So, and now we need to make sure our props are on the lock. So NTS check. All right. Sorry guys, hold on. Main fuel valve check, which is open. All right, so yeah, let's do this. I'm not sure that I did that right because let me go back up one. Okay, so what I did was the feather valve check, and that's all I did. Okay, now I'm gonna do the NTS check, so which is a different test, obviously. All right, so switch valves need to come on, and the SRL levers need to be on. Okay. Um, and now my propellers need to be on the locks. And so let's make sure that they're on the locks. I think the way we get them on the locks is we go into reverse with these guys. Just hit the unfeather. And I'm just verifying that they're on the locks. Okay. And now power lever slightly forward of flight idle. Okay. So slightly forward of flight idle. And the run crank switches should both be on. Valves are open. And select starter switch to left or right. All right, so we'll do the right first. Move it over to the right. And this got 3 positions. It can be hard to tell when you're in that middle position. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's make this happen. So now, go to the next page. All right, so we're going to press and hold the unfeathered switch, this switch here on the right, and at the same time, our beta light should light up. We're going to press and hold our engine start switch while observing the beta range attenuator, and the beta range attenuator should go out as the rotation begins. And I think my my button will illuminate also, which is not mentioned, but it does. At which time I can release my, let's see, unfeathered switch. Continue to press and hold. All right, so I want to continue to hold that unfeathered switch, and once my ETG start to rise, I can release the start switch. All right, so this is my EGT indicator here. So once this start to rise, that's when I can release switch, and then I can illumination of beta range attenuator. Then I can release the unfeather button. Okay. All right. So the more times I go through this, I think the better I get with it. All right. So here we go. So we want to hold this switch. All right. That lit off. Hold that guy there. Looking at NTGs. All right, that did light off. ETG should start to rise. Starting to rise, the beta light came back on. Now I can let it go. And I got a good start. I'm gonna do the same with the next engine. And something that I have noticed when I started any other way, the engine kind of jerks or move in a funny way. Let me back out a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see a little bit better the whole how the aircraft rocks as it's starting up, uh, which is really something different. All right, so hold that button. Okay. All right. Beta light is on. Beta light is off. I'm looking for my engine, my exhaust gas to come up. It's up, and I can release both. All right. So that's how you start this guy. And one thing I did skip, after starting the engine, I should have turned on the generator for the engine that I had on before I did the next engine. That's what happens when you abandon the checklist. Gotta sneeze. Achoo! Woo. All right. So, and zoom in a little bit. All right. So, turn this one on. All right. So, power levers set above ground idle. Okay. But I think I went back too far. The propellers locks. Got past this guy. Let's see. Well, where the devil was? Okay. Yeah. Here. Okay. Yeah. So this is where I'm at, and there's a lot of things that I want to kind of keep an eye on as the engine started up. Proud to 50% increase in the oil pressure. Didn't actually look, but it did increase. Proud of 60% RPM. The light should extinguish. Engine RPU stabilize at between 70 and 78%. Didn't actually see where it stabilized, but like my RPMs, it's about 98% at the moment. And okay, let's see, yeah. SLRFL annunciator has went out. Engine instruments check. Okay, everything's in the green, right? Nothing's in the red. Core temperatures are coming up to the green, in the green. Got fuel in my tanks. Everything looks in order. Okay. Let's see. Generator switch on and repeat for opposite, and start selector switch. Go to air start and safe. Now I had a hard time with this for the longest because air start and safe I kept associating with these buttons here at the top. And I couldn't figure out, wow, how am I turning that off? But it's actually associated with this button here, and this middle position is air start and safe. Okay, so that's what they mean when they say go to air start and right. Let's see, next page. I hope I'm doing somewhat better than the first time I ran through this, guys, with you. But I will put a link at the end of this video to that first video, and maybe even in the notes if you want to just check it out. It's a couple hours long, so it's a long one. All right. Overspeed governor check. Now, I believe this yellow area is my overspeed indicator, and right now it's not working as it is, as it's supposed to. But but if it did, then as I push my throttles to the top and my torque come up, then the aircraft shouldn't be trying to bow and move forward. Not my overspeed should stop somewhere up in here with the with the throttles pushed forward right now until this bug is squashed. Then you can see they're going all the way around a lot further, and I do think that the developer is aware of that, and that's something that's going to be addressed. All right, caution. If engine RP exceeds, shut the engine down immediately. So right now, my overspeed governor is working, but it's not indicated. Let's put it that way. All right. Let's see. Now this is where we at. Okay, we are still just doing our engine start. All right. Repeat for other engine. All right. So actually, we're doing one at a time. All right. SLR check. Left switch off, and we should get an annunciator, and should get a slight rise in the EEG. So you get an annunciator somewhere up in here. Let me this picture. We should get an annunciator somewhere up in here. All right, there we go. And we should what else should we get? We should get slight rise in the EEG somewhere. Not toward. This is EEG, and it should get a slight rise in that. All right, so here we go. Which one does it say we should do first? Left. All right, we do left. Okay, I saw the rise, got my caution, and I got my failure. So turn it back on, reset my caution. Next one. All right, got my right, and look at, so I am seeing my rise. And yeah, so that's working as expected. All right. Or actually, when I was working with this, I was actually seeing a drop, I believe. When I turn it off, I'm seeing a drop, and according to the manual, I should see a rise. So I think that's a little bug that needs to be addressed also. I haven't reported that one. If I don't see it in the forums, then maybe I will bring it to you. Sure, somebody will. All right, and so both switches are extinguished. Both switches are back on, and nothing. Set the caution here, and let's see, check votes, and they are both at about 27, 28, and pressure system should be on. And believe it or not, guys, I have never really worked the pressure system. That's something that I meant to work on before I made this video. All right, so pressure. I think that's this guy here. Main pressure increase. Cabin air. Just checking. So yeah, let me go back to my checklist here. Time I try to zoom in with my mouse scroll button, I wound up scrolling this guy accidentally. Okay, pressure system is on. Um, and not really, don't really know where the pressure system, if it's got a toggle to turn that off and on. Um, but I didn't see one, so I'm assuming that it is on. Um, and field transfer switches go to auto, so that's these guys. And or temperatures check, and they are in the cautionary, but the engine is still on the locks and pretty much equivalent of idle. Um, so I'm assuming that I'm gonna uh, mark them as being checked. Okay, radio masters can come on, and when I turn the radio masters on, you'll see my transponder and GPS has come alive. Let's do one first. Maybe I did number two first, then number one, right? And my transponder is heating up there. And see, let me zoom in so I can see this. Transponder on standby. I'm actually going to turn it to altitude reporting. And flaps can go to 20 degrees for takeoff. So I got that set at 20, and props, I can take those off the locks. So the way I take them off the locks is I bring them down to reverse, then back up to flight idle. All right, so let's get them down to reverse. And they are off the locks. You see my beta lights have gone out. The sound of my engine has changed. So at this point, I can grab my headset, put it on, right? That cuts down on the noise. And let's see, condition levels, power levers. Okay, so all of that just told me how to do what I just did, right? And this go up to taxi. All right. So, yep, we are getting there. Toe brakes, before taxi checklist. Toe brakes, press and hold, and then I can release my parking brake. All right. So let's do that, guys. Let's hold those toe brakes. Now, remember on the other video that was not working properly, but that's been resolved with an update, and the brakes are now holding. All right. Now, before takeoff, so at this point we can go to our takeoff. I'm gonna set my brake, and I gotta figure out where I'm gonna take off from now. Like I'm at North Las Vegas, and we're gonna fly to. Thought we'd go just take a quick flight to Bakersfield, California. See how far is that? Let me turn my webcam back on so you guys can see my lovely face. And let me turn my iPad on so you can see what I'm attempting to do. Okay, so let's see. There I am, the blue dot here is me. All right, so you can see the blue dot throbbing. And let's see, Bakersfield, where are you? I don't think you're that far. So Bakersfield is here. Put two fingers on here, try to get the distance as the crow fly. And that's roughly 200 nautical miles. Yeah, so we'll make that flight. All right. And see, now I'm still on the iPad here. Trying to get rid of the legend. Move the legend up over here somewhere. All right. That's out of my way, I think. Where's Las Vegas? I lost Las Vegas. Lost. Okay, there is Las Vegas. Okay. So let's do a flight plan. And north of Las Vegas was K. Shucks, my memory is terrible. KNLG. Oh, no, that's not it. K. L. Shucks. I have to look at four. I think I got it in four flights somewhere. Pull up four flight. Bear with me, guys. I don't have it in four flight. All right, so let me just zoom in. KVGT, Vegas, VG for Vegas, right? And I don't know what a T. I can't think of what I can associate the T with. Okay. All right, so let's get rid of that. And get rid of this. K. Oh man, I forgot VGT. And Bakersfield is our destination. I can remember that because B for Bakers, F for Phil, and D. I mean not D, but L, Phil. And there we go. All right, so let's see if there's anything preventing us from flying direct. Let me turn off my radar. So I've got an MOA. I got MOA in this restricted area that I can skirt here. I'm actually just missing it if I go the way the crow fly. Let's see if there are 7 routes that I can choose. And those routes actually punch me to the south, and all of them punch me to the south. Let's see, what does this one look like? Don't like that one. Don't like that one particularly. And this one looks okay. 16,000 feet, 250 nautical miles that way. Wow, that's really adding seem to really be adding some time, but I'm trying to see why. Okay, so apparently the routes are avoiding not only the restricted areas but the MOAs too. So the military operation area, that's what MOA stand for. And so in order to not fly over the MOA, which in real life we can do, we just have to get permission, then we have to fly all the way down and to the southwest, and then back up to the northeast. I'm sorry, to the northwest. All right, so we'll make that route. All right, so let's go ahead and plug that into our GPU, FMS, flight management system for the G530, and we'll pop that out. I did something and it started popping out that way. I don't really know what I did, so let's zoom in on this real closely, and we just use it here. All right, flight plan, and our first waypoint is going to be Las Vegas. So we're gonna fly to the Las Vegas airport. That's weird. Seems like there were that this plan would take us away from Las Vegas, but it doesn't. So LAS Sierra. Okay, and enter. All right, and then we're going to go to the Daggett VOR. Daggett A Golf. Daggett. All right, enter. Yep. And then we'll go to Palmdale. Kilo. Papa. Alpha. I'm not doing that right. PMD. Kilo. Papa. Papa's the next. Then Mike. Delta. Palmdale Regional U.S. Air Force Base. All right, we'll enter on that one. And then we'll fly direct to Bakersfield. I tell you what, let's reroute and make our final destination Palmdale. That's a good destination, and what that does is it shortens the flight substantially because there's no need. Let's see. There's no need to fly to Bakersfield. Let's just, for whatever reason, we got rerouted to Palmdale as opposed to Bakersfield. All right. And let's see. So I'm in the Pilot Edge area. But you know what? I didn't load up my Pilot Edge plug-in. So in order to fly Pilot Edge, I would have to restart the entire flight, go back through the checklist, restart the aircraft. But yeah, so fly with Traffic Global. All right, so I want to change to my map. And it had been so long since I used the G530, I almost forgot how to use it. All right. So, and I did get the G500 to work in this aircraft. So, at some point, I might do a flight with that. All right. So, what I need to do is get my ADAS for this airport. And I'm sorry for blocking some of what I was doing out with the iPad. I wish when I look away, that thing would automatically go out. Some green tea here, guys. Actually, I like it piping hot. Okay, so what I really want is the frequency because what the real world ADAS and my X-Plane ADAS may not coincide. So actually, I think I'm gonna start FS real world weather, and that would kind of force it to be real world. Okay, so I got the real world weather transferring, and it should be getting set into the sim as we speak. All right, so while I'm waiting on that, let me go ahead and put in my frequency. I'm not going to do clearance delivery. The only time I ever do clearance delivery is when I got real ATC. But ground is 0.7 and the tower is 125.7. 125.7. So we're gonna talk to ground first. So we want to change that first. 0.7. 0.7 here. And 125. No, 121.7. And then 125.7. And that tunes my radios in. That's probably the only radio work. Let me get rid of this. That's probably the only radio work that I'm gonna do until I actually, unless I decide to make some calls on simulate talking to tower on landing. All right, so now I need to figure out how to get out of here. And I did the same thing again. I still got the iPad up, but let's listen to the ADAS here. COM2.
North Las Vegas Information, Quebec. 2100 Zulu weather. Wind 100 at 12, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 8000 scattered, temperature 35, dew point 17. Altimeter 2994. Arriving runway 25, departing runway 25. Advise on initial contact, you have Quebec.
All right, Quebec. The winds are pretty up there. And we're going to use 25. I got to hear the winds again. They were really up there.
North Las Vegas Information, Quebec. 2100 Zulu weather. Wind 100 at 12, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 8.
100 at 12, and we're going to use 25. Which, why wouldn't we use, and I'm looking at the iPad here, 12 right or 12 left. So, yeah, that's kind of off there. 10015. Let me just play that one more time.
North Las Vegas Information, Quebec. 2100 Zulu weather. Wind 100 at 12, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 8000 scattered, temperature 35, dew point 17. Altimeter 2994. Arriving runway 25, departing runway 25. Advise on initial.
Yeah, if winds are 100, then I am going to use runway. I'm going to use runway 07. I'm sorry, but that's what I'm going to do. All right, so in order to get to 1217, we're going to take Charlie to Alpha to 7. So we're going to take this route that I just drew there, okay? All right, so let's get rid of here are annotations, and let's make it happen. Right. So we're off the locks. So once I release the brake, I should start to move forward when I release the brake. Lights. Before taxi, radio master on, flaps 20 degrees, props, landing lights. Didn't turn my beacon light on. Taxi lights. Yeah, so this is fasten seat belt, no smoking, beacon, and taxi lights. Okay. Don't know how I missed my beacon. Okay, but hey, that's why we do checklists, so we can catch those things, and still missed it, but it is what it is. All right. All right, so we got our lights, and let's bring our condition level. Let's say, okay, we need to bring our, let's see, before taxi checklist. Condition levels should be takeoff land. Okay. And condition levels look like they should be on taxi. Condition levels should be on taxi. But that can't be right. Oh, no, that's not right. Condition levels. Let's see. Okay, propellers. Take out. Okay, that tells me how to take them off the locks. For a taxi checklist. I'm still before taxi checklist. Okay. All right. So let me just go to the next checklist. Go up here. Before taxi checklist. Okay. Annunciator panel. Check. Fine. Prop sync is off. That's eliminated. Pitot. Static heat need to come on. And ISS required, trim set, flap set, cabin air selector can go off. And condition levels, so that still don't, okay, so there is a setting here. I think what I need to do is bring this guy down to beta, and now I can taxi. There we go. There we go. That's better. That's taxiing is better, because I was trying to run out of here like a bat out of hell. And right. So I need to turn around. Now, what just happened was I went over the gate, and so I need to bring those back down. Bring them back down. Raise them slowly over, raise them up, but I don't want to go over the gate. So some real fine adjustments on my alpha yoke, on my Bravo yoke, on my Bravo throttle, I mean. Okay, so and we're actually at the before takeoff checklist. I was looking for something in my before taxi checklist that actually told me, hey, put the thing in beta, and didn't really see anything that specifically told me to put it in beta. All right. So we're looking for Charlie to Alpha, and then Alpha to 07. And looks like that's going to give us a crosswind. Well, I can't really tell where that orange and white I can't think of the name of it. The oh, what is that thing called? What is this thing called? I've been losing words lately, guys. Uh, what's going on with that? Uh, I would turn away from Charlie. See, can I make a U-turn? Yeah, I'm gonna make a U-turn. And got to be careful with the throttle because I don't want to push it so far forward that I go over the gate and get into a takeoff situation where the plane is moving like a bat out of hell. All right, this should be Charlie. Yep, it's Charlie. Okay, so Charlie to Bravo. Well, let's see. Um, this is Charlie, and and I, and it's yeah, it's Bravo that I'm taking up to all the way because I'm trying to get to '07, which means I'm gonna have to cross. Uh-uh. I wasn't supposed to do Bravo. I was supposed to do Alpha. Ah, shoot. My bad, guys. If can't can't be running off the runway in real life, can you? All right, so let's see what we look like. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna take Alpha. I'm gonna take Bravo to Alpha, left on Alpha, and then a right on Golf, and that should put me right on '07. Okay, so I'm gonna make a left here, and this should be Alpha. Okay, that's Alpha. And '07 is what we're looking for. And we want Golf. This is Foxtrot, and behind Foxtrot should be Golf. And A7 Foxtrot. And this is Golf. All right. All right. So this is where we're tower. We'll wait for tower to clear us to takeoff. So let's change our radio frequency to tower and make sure nothing is coming. Clear for takeoff. Runway 07. Move. Whatever tail number I would have. I haven't chosen a tail number for this aircraft. Okay, so flaps at 20%, and landing lights can come on and extended, on and extended. Strobe lights can come on, taxi lights can go off. Transponder is on altitude reporting, and lights, camera, and yeah, I think we are good to go. All right, condition level can go all the way to taxi, and power can go to takeoff climb. And look at her move. All right, we're gonna rotate at 100 and 100 rotate. Watch that wind. So we got that wind, and yeah, it's really susceptible to that wind. All right, positive rate, tap the brake, gear up. And I should have went through the before my next checklist, but I didn't. All right, taxi and climb checklist. All right, and continuous ignition, power lever, advance, stop at 100% torque. So, see, the torque governors was working. All right, and flaps can come up. And 16,000 is our cruising altitude. So let's turn our autopilot on. Autopilot is engaged, and we turn our nav on. Turn our nav on. Let's see. This is the one that had the GSS steering. I believe it is. Don't see it here. All right, so I need to make some turns manually. See what the devil. Okay, so I need to go to Las Vegas. Let's see. This guy CDI here needs to be. Autopilot. Autopilot is on, and this is what I'm looking for. Okay, so I want it's on heading mode, and on heading mode. Okay, there we go, and then GSS steering. All right, that should engage my autopilot for nav tracking. All right, and let's see. Let's get this altitude set. Should have did this while I was on the ground. And 16,000. Make sure I'm holding at 4,500. So make sure that I don't fly into the ground. At 16,000. Let's do vertical speed. And we'll set that guy, set vertical speed to let's see, this aircraft is good at about 1,000 feet a minute. Yeah, look at our airspeed. We're already over 200 knots. And we should be capturing. Looking here, this is us. This is where is our? This is Las Vegas. Should be flying directly to Las Vegas. All right, so okay, nav armed. All right, so it's the first time I've seen the arm button. And turn heading off. OBS is not OBS, CDI. Should be on GPS. OBS can go off. There we go. That should get us on our GPS steering is on. All right, and the nav is waiting to capture. And can't tell that we're capturing it. So what am I doing wrong, guys? Oh, autopilot's on standby. All right, autopilot is on. Nav is on capture. All right. GPS steering is on. Autopilot is engaged. And I still don't see me capturing. Let's see, some looks like I should be flying ahead in about 210, so let me turn my heading book. 210 will fly that heading, fly toward that heading. And I have to turn this to heading. All right, so we're turning finally. All right, now torque is at 90%. Airspeed look good. All right, so let's pull this guy down between takeoff climb and max cruise. Put back on that power just a touch to get more bite on those props without straining the engine. All right. Exhaust gas temperatures look good, oil temperatures look good. Fuel flow is pretty hot at the moment, but we are climbing. And we're still trying to pick up our course. All right, so I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here. So turn now back on. First I got to turn it on GPS steering. Turn nav on. Let's see, nav. Boy, if I was flying in real life, the tower would be fussing at me because I'm not doing what they'd be asking me to do. Heading. And how can I get this guy to... Okay, so I got the CDI set to GPS. Now it's turning. Okay, maybe it's about to pick up that track. I don't know. Let's see what happens. That's something you don't want to have to do in real life, is wait and see what happens. You want to know what's going on. And I am not flying. All right, so let me intercept that course manually. I'm gonna fly west on a heading and roll out on that. I want to roll out on 121. And let's see now. Let's look at our flight plan. All right, so at this point, I want to go ahead and activate the Daggett. We want to activate Daggett. Menu, activate this leg. 88 nautical miles to Daggett. And this bit me because these lights, see how these lights protruded out? at this airspeed, they would be, they would, shortly after when I retracted the gear, shortly thereafter, I should have retracted the lights. So I want to come down to retract and then back to off. Take a look. But they didn't go. They didn't do what I thought they should do. All right. So lights, retract. Maybe I should just put them on retract for the time being. And I guess they are off now. Okay. So I want to move them up to the off position. And now they're off. So I gotta wait till they retract and then turn them off. Maybe. Alright. So now try and engage this set this caution. Never did take out all of my flaps. All of my flaps are all out, and got less than 1,000 to go before I at altitude. All right, so autopilot is on. All right, so let's roll out on 210. Might be rolling out a little bit prematurely, but let's roll out on 220. And you see me keep looking down this way. I'm actually consulting my iPad, trying to roll out on that magenta line. But actually, glad I'm not on the magenta line because I want to get the autopilot to do the steering. And we need some cabin pressure here. Zoom in here. A lot going on, guys. So get in there. Get in there. There we go. And now let's look at the cabin pressure. All right. So the cabin pressure right now is on 17.5. So okay, so that is what I want to use. So let's put it on 16.5, and we're good on the cabin pressure. Okay, so now we can get the if we're flying, basically, let me change the head into 210 and fly parallel to my track. I mean 210. That'll put me parallel to my track on the that I want parallel to the track, to the magenta line. And now that way, if I can get the autopilot to grab, am I blacking out? Yeah, I'm blacking out. Okay. Got a pause here. See how dark things are looking now? that means that I got an oxygen situation, and I didn't capture my altitude. All right, so I need to do a rapid descent. I turn my oxygen on. Let's see. Cabin air conditioning. All right. What is this? Heading. Increase, decrease. Free sleep. Okay. Sorry guys, but don't know. Cabin pressure. All right, so let me unpause here. Try hitting some stuff. Increase this guy. And let's get the vertical speed down to go on a rapid descent here. And that back, that power lever back, and yeah, see, I need to come down and get some oxygen. All right, so not a lot that I can do at this point, but do a descent. Hopefully I'll wake up before I hit the ground. I know, right? But that's about all I can do is come on down and hopefully I can wake up before I hit the ground. I did not know that I did not have oxygen on. I'm not sure how to put it on. So I should be in some sort of descent. So, yep. Hey guys. You see why I don't fly the airliners, right? At least not yet. But this MU-2, it's a beast of an aircraft for a general aviation aircraft. Um, she is she's a handful. Right. So let me try to increase my descent. Real life, I wouldn't be able to do this. But hopefully I'll wake up as my brain gets some oxygen. Fortunately, right before I passed out, okay, there I am. And waking up. Waking up. Oh, my head. Right, so I'm descending at 2,000 feet a minute, down to 12, and I'm gonna hold at 12. That's not holding at 12. Right. Vertical speed. All right. Come on. She is a squirrely aircraft. I'm trying to, well, I tell you what, let me use the out button. Let me climb up to 11.5. East is odd. Let's do 12. Let's do 12. So, all right, getting slow here. And you really have to manage. Now this is an aircraft. I gotta tell you, you gotta fly. You, it, it does take an experienced pilot to fly this aircraft. I can, if this simulation is based on the real aircraft, then it does take someone with some experience to fly it. All right. So 100 to go. And trying to trim it up. Give it a little bit more torque. Get my climb. All right. Autopilot is on. And out select on 12. And let's see if she grabs 12. Look like she might be grabbing 12. Okay. Now, I don't know why my heading didn't select my heading. Maybe because I didn't turn on out select arm and capture. All right, so that's a mistake. Well, I don't want to do that right now. Don't. So let's set the altitude to let's set the altitude to 14 to 12. Because of our oxygen situation. And let's set up, okay. Now, like we're perpendicular to our line that we want to fly. All right, so let's try turning now back on. And GPS steering, heading, GPS steering. Out select went off. All right. Yes, I'm having a tough time. Yes, I don't know this autopilot's not engaged. Let's engage that. All right. The autopilot is engaged. GPS steering is on. And I specifically remember the last time I picked up the track, I did not have the now button eliminated. I do want alt select on. and vertical speed is at 12. Okay, looks like it's okay. It caught my 12. All right, so finally something's going right. All right, so let's go ahead and tune that in. 118.275. Actually, I want to tune it in on 2. 118.275. 275. Flip that. And flip it, flip it, flip it, flip it. All right. And COM 2 is off. Okay. COM 1 is on, which I just went back to COM 1. So I'm making really big mistakes. But now it's capturing it. Okay. So now, finally, my GPS is working. Maybe, but no, I can't say that it was working before because it was really flying me. Look at the track that it was flying before when I was trying to engage it. How do I show you that? Okay, so let's get rid of that guy, and let's see, tap to hide that. So see this green track. Now I was hand flying there, and then here is when I start trying to use the autopilot to turn back towards the magenta line, and see how it kept going away. Here is when I said, well, I'm just going to fly due west and roll out on it, rolled out beside it. Here is where everything went to hell in a handbasket, but now I'm on it. So go figure. And got GPS steering on, no nav, altitude is on. Thought I had, well, maybe I was trying to turn head and off. That's what it was. I had head and turn off, trying to turn out nav on, get it to capture. Head and off, I believe. Okay, I didn't put in a transponder code, but one, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, 69 frames per second. So this aircraft is not too bad on frames. I mean, yeah. So finally, we can sit back and kind of enjoy the flight. But if, you know, the tower ATC would be handing me phone numbers by now. Well, actually, if they was giving me vectors, I would be flying vectors. So maybe not, but yeah, it's important that I can manage the autopilot. And as you can see, this autopilot is a little different from other autopilots. Okay, so I'm at cruise. All right, so let's get to a cruise checklist. Okay, take off and climb. And I got away from the checklist on all of this, so none of this stuff was correct. I don't really see cruise, but I do know I want to move my condition level to cruise, and it will feather automatically. All right, and I've got, how far do I have before I reach? I've got a ways to go, so I can fly much faster than than 100. What's my than 170 knots. So I'll put my torque to 80. Go ahead and speed up. I think that's going to give me roughly 210 knots over the ground. Right now, I've got a ground speed of 230 knots looking at the GPS. And yeah, so I did manage my lights way too late in the game, but they are managed. And I did turn my pitot heat on during my pre-flights. Outside air temperature is, see if I got anything help me out with that. Close this cabinet door. Let's see, I'm looking for outside air temperature. That would be this stage here. And I'm still above freezing. So yeah, I'm good. Even if the air had some weather in it. Pacific North, Southwest, Midwest, of the Pacific. Let's see, this is Southwest, the Pacific Southwest, closer to Los Angeles and San Diego than I am Seattle and San Francisco. So yeah. All right. And let's take a look outside. And let's get back inside. And I will forget to remove my iPad. And that's something that I tend to forget when I pull it up. But you guys were able to see on my iPad some of the flights, so I guess it wasn't too bad leaving it up. Right now, let's just brief our descent checklist. Something I tend not to do. Okay, cabin altitude select. See, that's what I need to find. So let's do some learning here, guys, while we in flight. So I set this guy up to what I thought was 16,500. Okay, so maybe this, I'm thinking this is 16,000 and 17,000, right? So let me turn it, see, because that might be 1,600. No, that's got to be 16,000. but I went up to 18,000. I had it set at 16,000. So could that be why I blacked out? Could be. Um, Turn the AC on auto. Cabin air outlet on both for whatever reason. I generally don't worry about air temperatures in the sim. Uh-oh, I got a caution light on. So cabin pressure is low. All right. So cabin pressure is low. So let me turn it up. I don't know how to increase it. All right. So all right, let's check out airspeed. We are about 222 knots or somewhere thereabout. So while we are in cruise, let's pull up the manual and try to figure out why the devil am I see flight controls. Go on landing pressurization. Okay. All right. The airplane is equipped with a pressurization system. The pressurization is accomplished by bleeding high pressure air from one of the compressor stages. A knob on the air conditioning panel is used to select the source of bleed air into the pressurizer. Okay, so I do have to use the air conditioning to turn on bleed air to pressurize my cabin so I don't black out. All right. A knob on the air conditioner panel is used to select the source of bleed air into the pressurization system. For pressurization, the desired cabin altitude is set on the pressurization control panel, and the cabin pressure is subsequently controlled through an outflow valve by the pressurization control unit to achieve the set cabin altitude outflow valve. So I guess that's just information. But all right, so I just turned bleed air on to both, right? Bleed air source select. I had it off, so that's why I didn't get any pressurization. When setting the cabin altitude, a small window in the bottom of the pressurization control panel will indicate the altitude at which the maximum allowed pressure could be achieved, and above that pressure, the cabin altitude would then increase above the set cabin altitude. Okay, so RAM is not simulated. Off, no bleed air. Um, Left bleed air is tapped from the left engine, both from both engines, and right from the right engine. Many times prior to takeoff, an MU-2 pilot will turn off the air selector switch to maximize power, and then once airborne, turn the system back on. If you fly at sufficiently high altitudes with the selector set off, you will neglect pressurization. You will neglect to pressurize your cabin and experience a blackout, and explain if your preferences for that are set, which it is, and I did have the blackout. All right, so now we know, hopefully, how to get up to whatever altitude we want to get up without blacking out. So, so let's see. we are close enough to our destination at this point not to want to climb any higher. See, we've got roughly 60 nautical miles, or maybe 60 to 80 nautical miles to go. So right now I'm getting bleed air from my left engine, and my pressurization is still coming up. So I'm just now pressurizing the cabin. And it said there was some sort of indicator. See, prop sync off this whole flight. I should have turned it on. They got a low pressure light. And if we can increase the rate. And get the pressure light, but I don't see, it said something about an indicator for pressurization. Not up there. All right, so one thing I do want to check before I land is, I keep meaning to do this, is find out at what landing speed is it safe to turn the lights on, to turn these lights on. You can't see what I'm showing you. My bad. Yeah. All right. So to turn on these headlights, these landing lights. All right. So I'm thinking that I should be able to see the speed restriction for the landing lights, exterior lights. Because there is a speed restriction, and don't see them here. See the diagram. Tips and gotcha. Maybe I read it somewhere, and I don't see it. So I have to figure that out at some point and update it again in a different flight. Okay. But you can see the documentation on this aircraft is pretty extensive. So yeah, lighting system, and just go down to the bottom before I give up looking for what I'm looking for, and I don't see at a glance what that speed restriction is. All right, so back to the cockpit. And okay, so I am looking at my iPad, and right now my highest obstacle is at 5,600 feet. I'm at 16,000 feet, so I can start to get down. Get down, get down. So I can start to get down. In traffic on my iPad. And let me turn the traffic indicator on for traffic global. Huh. Don't see any traffic. Oh well. well, I'm not sure why. I'm just gonna do this, guys, just to see, make sure that Traffic Globe is running and working as expected. Radar. Yep. Plenty of traffic on my radar. Plenty. So traffic is out there somewhere. And there are my labels. Maybe I wasn't pressing the insert button hard enough. Okay. So rather than using the formula for getting down, I am going to go ahead and do 1,000 foot a minute descent. Pull that power back. And bring this guy down. I think I want to get down to about 6,000. Let's do 5,500. And vertical speed. And we'll do 1,000 feet a minute. All right. So, destination airport is at an elevation of 2,500 feet. So pattern is going to be 35 with 11.5. So that's what, 50, 60, 7,500 feet we need to get down. 1,000 feet a minute, that's 7 minutes. We got 8 minutes to destination, so we are cutting it close. Actually, we got 9 minutes to destination, according to the iPad. So, all right, let's see if we can get a ATIS on our destination airport.
Palmdale, U.S. Air Force ELT-42 information Romeo. 2200 Zulu weather. Wind shear alert. Wind 220 at 17 gust 28. Visibility more than 10.
Gust 28.
Sky clear. Temperature 35. Dew point 12. Altimeter 3000. Arriving runway 22. Departing runway 22. Advise on initial contact you have Romeo.
Romeo, runway 22, and let me hear them winds again. Make sure it's not contradictory.
Palmdale, U.S. Air Force ELT-42 information Romeo. 2200 Zulu weather. Wind shear alert. Wind 220 at 17 gust 28.
Okay.
Visibility more than 10.
Winds at 17 knots, gusting to 28 knots. And let's see, turn this off. Guess you guys can't hear both of us talk. All right, so winds at 17 knots, gusting to 28 knots, and they're coming in at 220. We're gonna land at 220, so we're gonna land in a direct headwinds, which is fortunate, because we had a crosswind landing, and with this aircraft, it would be almost, I don't know, it would be a tough thing. All right, so right now we are on a heading of 240. We're gonna land on runway 220. So I'm gonna put my heading bug on 22. my course, my heading. All right, so my heading bug is set. And we're 22 miles from the airport. We are below $10,000. $10,000. We're below 10,000 feet. So got a airspeed of 165 knots. And power is back for all our instruments are in the green. Our fuel is okay. All right, so let's go back to this chat list and let's go ahead to our descending chat list. I want to see takeoff chat list, takeoff and climb. Okay, descent and approach chat list. All right, here we go. Pitot heat on, check. Continuous ignition. And continuous ignition, what is that? That's a good question. Where is my continuous ignition? I saw somebody flip those on in some other video. And all right, so we're gonna land without our continuous ignition turn on. Let's just check our overhead. I'm sure they're not there. Indicator lights, landing lights, overhead panel, instrument lights. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn some overhead, some instrument lights on. I should have did that early on because when I'm making a video, I know that always helps you guys see the instruments a little better. I don't see. I have to find out where they are, and I waited too late in the flight to be do this. Okay, here they are. Okay. Ignition continuous. All right, right and left. Okay. All right, found them. Continuous ignition as required. Into ice as required. Cabin altitude differential pressure. Check for 0. Let's do that right quick. Let's bring this guy down to 0. Right. Well, we're going to actually have 3,000 feet of altitude when we land. Why is this is moving? All right. I thought this right here was supposed to move. All right, so I'm getting too close to my destination to worry about that. And I didn't capture my altitude. All right, so I got altitude select on now, but I'm still descending. So I'm just gonna do altitude hold here. And hold at 4,000 feet. Now I gotta remember, we're on the ground is 2,500 feet. So, all right, there's our Okay, here's our runway here. All right, so it's my aircraft. I want the aircraft. So rid of the autopilot and pull all the way back because I want to slow down. Go full forward on the condition level, and I know I'm not going through the the checklist because the airport snuck up on me. But I want to put it down right here. So I need to bleed out some of the speed. Get my landing lights on. Whoa. All right. Gear down. Flaps 5. And I think Palmdale has like super long runways. I mean, like a couple of 3 miles. So should be okay. Flaps 20. And I don't want to put any more flaps in until I get in the flap range. Okay. Gotta remember I got those high winds and them gusts, and with gusts, which might lift my nose anytime and give me some sink rates. So that might be why I'm sinking that nose. All right. Flaps 40. Oh, it says wasted. Hit the ground. Good flare. Well, the ground at 0.92. So it says wasted. If it didn't say wasted, I'd be saying I'll take it. We'll go back and look at this landing. All right. All right, so our FBO, our general aviation, is all the way down here on the right. All right, so we're going to get off right here. I wonder if our taxi lights ever came on. Yep, they did. I mean, landing lights. All right. All right, so we get past this guy, stop and clean up. FLTT. All right. So flaps, lights, and got those all strobes can come off, and taxi lights can go on. Transponder, trim. Transponder, yeah, we did. We never set it, and trim is pretty close to where it need to be. All right. Let's go up here and make a left turn. And you can see all the other labels that general aviation down now. So yeah, this is a hard aircraft to fly. It really is. Well, actually, it's not that hard. It's hard. It's different. It's a different aircraft to fly. It flies a lot more squirrely. I mean, I'm dancing on the rudder pedals, dancing, playing footsie with the yoke, trying to control it. I am going to go up to the closest hangar rather than shut down the closest hangar. Let's see, I got an after landing checklist somewhere. After roll up, condition levels of taxi check, anti-ice systems off check, flaps up check, landing taxi lights as required check, road lights off check, and continuous ignition off. That's the only thing I missed. All right, continuous ignition go off. And I think that's one of the reasons why I don't fly airliners, because it's a lot of button flipping on airliners. And you got to stay on top of those checklists. All right. So somehow another managed to get over the gate. All right. All right, so we'll park here. Set the brake. And then we got a shutdown checklist. So parking brake is set, cabin air can go off. And run crank stop switches are not working properly, but if they were working properly in version 2.0, but after the update, they haven't been working properly because I should be able to shut the engines down using these switches. At least I was able to before. Maybe I won't, but. All right, so let's say we have our main valves turned off, and I was talking about power levels. Like they may have turned off the engines. Let me jump out, take a look, speak outside and check. But nope, they are still ringing. I got the headsets on, so I can't hear them that way. So let me turn off the headsets. I'll take off the headsets. Open up this guy here. Okay, yeah, there we go. Now I can hear the engines. All right. So there are 3 different ways I can turn this engine off. And I think the manual actually says, grab this guy, put it back, and hold it until the engine shut down. But maybe another bug that needs to be ironed out. All right. So the total of 4 different ways. This is the preferred way because what that does is it purges oil out of the system. Of course, there's the emergency shutdown. That would be number 2. I can click these buttons here, and that's I think that's the 5-year suppression shutdown, and that will shut down the engine. Or I can just start my fuel. I turn off the fuel here, which is what I'm gonna do. So turn my tip tanks off from auto to off, and I'm gonna start my right engine fuel and start my left engine fuel. Okay, so that's one thing about engines. They can't get gas and they will not run. All right. So let's see. Put here. All right. Power levers in reverse. I should put those on reverse before I stop the engines. That would ensure that they would have got set back up on the top of the locks. All right. Generator switches can go off, and they'll start. And safe switch is set. Next page, I'm on page 19. So there are no more. Okay. Somewhere along the line, I must have missed my avionics. That needs to go off. And inverter goes off. All right. Yeah, I think for the most part, guys, we are shut down AP. I guess that went off again. Turn our main off. And we turn our lights off. Should turn those off before we turn off some of this other stuff. Okay, so we are ready for the next flight. All right, guys. So I kind of got away from the checklist. I kept trying to come back to it, but one of the main things about flying this aircraft started. Oh, yeah. I was going to go back and take a look at that landing. So let's yeah, so see how squirrely I'm flying this guy. And I didn't have a stable approach. So the key to a good landing is a stable approach. So in real life, I would have did a go around. But I knew that I could salvage this. At least I thought that I could salvage it. I knew I had overshot the runway, but I knew it was a super long runway. All right, so we'll use this view. Oh, looked like I ran out of lift. A little bit high on the flare. So that's the only thing I can see. Do that again. It's the last time. I lied one more time. Run out of lift right there. All right. And she is squirrely on the runway. Ground handling is a beast in this aircraft. Okay, guys, so that's gonna do it for this video. And one thing that I never do is ask you to like and subscribe, because I figure if you like my videos, then you will consider subscribing. For those of you who do, I do appreciate it. All right. So until next time.
Y'all come back now, dear.